What's going on, everybody? Last year I added automated drip irrigation for our vegetable garden, and I added one of these fertilizer injectors for automatic fertigation. The only problem is it's not automatic. Let's change that. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this EZ-FLO injector truly automated using a Zooz Long Range Z-Wave relay, a 12-volt power supply, 2/4-inch solenoid valves, all wired up inside a custom 3D printed enclosure and controlled through Home Assistant. Let's get into it. All right, here's what we're working with. We've got the EZ-FLO Premium Lawn and Garden Feeder. This thing sits in line with your hose and injects fertilizer into the water as it flows through. It has two manual valves you have to open and close every time you want to add or stop adding fertilizer. That's the part we're going to automate. For parts, we need a Zooz ZEN58 Low Voltage XS relay. This is a tiny Z-Wave long range dry contact relay that runs on 9 to 40 volts. It's got one channel, but since we want to control both valves to open and close together, we just wire them in parallel. A 12-volt DC power supply to power everything, and 2/4-inch 12-volt normally closed solenoid valves. Normally closed is important. If power goes out or something fails, the valve stays shut and you're not dumping fertilizer uncontrolled. To keep everything clean and contained, I'm using a 3D printed project enclosure I found on Maker's World. It's fully customizable, so I sized it to fit the relay, the power supply, and one of these lever wire connectors. I added cable glands on each end, so the wires can pass through cleanly without rubbing on a sharp edge. Speaking of those connectors, instead of soldering or crimping butt connectors, I'm using lever wire connectors with 2 inputs and 8 outputs. One handles the positive side, one handles the ground. They make wiring this thing dead simple. Flip the lever up, push the wire in, flip the lever down, done. And since they're going inside a sealed enclosure, they'll hold up just fine. If you look at the EZ-FLO, you've got an inlet line and an outlet line that let water in and out of the tank. Water flows in one side, mixes with whatever fertilizer you've loaded, and flows out the other. We're putting a solenoid valve on each of those lines so we can completely control when this thing is active. Let's wire it up. The ZEN58 is a dry contact relay. It's basically a switch that opens and closes a circuit. We're running our 12-volt power supply through the relay to both solenoid valves wired in parallel using those lever connectors. The positive connector takes the positive lead from the power supply on the input side, and on the output side it feeds the relay and both valve positives. The ground connector handles the same thing on the negative side. When Home Assistant triggers the relay, it closes the circuit, both valves open at the same time, and the fertilizer flows. The nice thing about the ZEN58 is that the 12-volt power supply powers both the relay and the valves, so it's a clean, simple power source setup. Everything tucks neatly into the printed enclosure. The wires for the solenoid valves and the power supply cable pass through the glands on each end, which keeps everything strain relieved and keeps moisture out. If this thing's going to live somewhere, it might catch a splash. For the valves themselves, they're 1/4-inch, so they fit right onto the EZ-FLO's tubing. Cut the inlet line, put your first valve in line. Same thing on the outlet side. Pay attention to the flow direction arrow on the valve. If you get that wrong, it won't work. Now, on the software side, the ZEN58 pairs to Home Assistant through Z-Wave JS. It even supports Smart Start, so you can just scan the QR code. Once it's included, you'll see a single switch entity. From there, you can build whatever automation you want. Set it to run on a specific duration on your watering days, tie it to a schedule, whatever makes sense for your garden. In my case, Home Assistant pulls in soil moisture data from my EcoWit sensors along with my weather data, and it decides whether to water the garden that day. If it does, Home Assistant triggers the EcoWit water control valve to do the watering. This fertigation automation will just layer on top of that. When I want nutrients in the mix, the relay opens the valves and the EZ-FLO does its thing. I'll cover the whole EcoWit and garden setup in another episode. And that's it. A fully automated fertigation setup controlled by Home Assistant. No more forgetting to hook up the fertilizer or wondering if your plants are getting fed. The Zooz relay makes it simple. The solenoid's valve keep it safe with that normally closed design, and you've got full control from your dashboard or automations. That's it for this one. Until next time, keep automating.